welcome everybody of you to the MediaWiki Users and Developers Conference. Let's talk a little bit about this. I have a riddle for you. What is probably not the best solution for the problem? Constantly under new pressure, barely keeping up as it is, always a work in progress, yet I'm very glad to have it. I see some good suggestions in the group. I will leave this riddle hanging a little bit. But I have something else in mind. For the online crowd, it looks like this. This is not the thing I meant with the riddle, but it was one thing which reminded me yesterday evening that is a very good riddle to have. It is a very good habit to open a speech with a puzzle, because even if they are not interested in what you're talking about after, they can still think about the puzzle. And if you want to do more than just think about it, there's a physical puzzle for you, so I will leave this mouse here. I couldn't get the buttons to fit into it last night, so this puzzle is to everybody in the room. The online crowd you have to help digitally, however you may. But we are here not to talk about this mouse, but we are here to talk about the 4th MediaWiki Users and Developers Conference. And to me, this was a very interesting setup, because what really is the 4th MediaWiki Users and Developers Conference? If you go to some websites, you find lists also on MediaWiki about MediaWiki conferences. And depending on how you count, you could be at the 4th MediaWiki Users and Developers Conference, but you could just as well say we are the 35th. So somewhere in between is probably the right number. And that is also what is so interesting to me, because I come from the field of trying to put numbers on things. And when you try to compute something like that, which is so abstract, then there's a question of like, how much does it really cost to organize such a MediaWiki Users and Developers Conference? Like, what is really behind this? And I can tell you, it's not between 4 and 35. It's somewhat north of 369. Now the question is 369 what? It's at least 369 emails, I can tell you that much. And that's only the emails where I was in. Like, there are many, many other mails going on around between all of you and the organizers, the program chairs, catering, everything. Like, everything we have right now, right here, is at least 369, and all the other things that are also behind that. But my approach to this is that all of this is always just an indicator, like a small reminder, but you have to do the major work for yourself to imagine what is really behind this. And I think we can go back to the riddle. There's a lot to be said of what really is behind all those things, what went into this mouse, what went into the MediaWiki Users Developers Conference, what went into MediaWiki by itself. And that's when I looked back for reference of how do you do such a speech, such an opening speech. And I found a sentence in one of the prior years. Some of you may remember this. This was the closing sentence of the last SMWCon. Please contribute in any way you can. And I think that's a very good motto to live by. So this is everything I have to contribute for today, for the 4th or 35th MediaWiki Users and Developers Conference. And I will now give the chair to Professor Maria-Esther Vidal, Program Area for Research and Development Chair.
Well, many thanks, team, for organizing this, and also Lozana and all the committee who have spent so many emails and also reading all these things. So on behalf of the directors of TIB, I'm here. And the idea is just to welcome all of you in Hanover and also to welcome you in this beautiful house that is the House of Leibniz. So well, let's start. So I wanted just to thank all the organizers, but then talk a little bit about TIB. What is TIB? So here we can see that TIB is just next to this beautiful castle, and this castle is the castle of the university, the Leibniz University of Hanover. But what is the relationship between these two things? And the relationship between these two things is that TIB is the library of this university that is in this beautiful castle. But what is the Leibniz University? Why the university is called Leibniz? And actually it's taking the name of these scientists that actually contributed to so many areas. That is Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz, who actually died here in Hanover. And he used to live in this house. And also there are many things that are taking the names from this Leibniz that are also the cookies. And well, what is the relationship of all this with TIB? And the relationship of this is that in addition to be the library of a university, TIB is an institute, a Leibniz Institute for Science and Technology. And that's why, as a Leibniz Institute, where we are researching and developing around this science and technology, is that we are developing scientific infrastructures. And these scientific infrastructures, there are many. We will just briefly describe them. But we have for research data management as the Leibniz data management, also using the name of Leibniz. Or we have the ORKG that you have many of the posters here. We will have more talks about that. Or we have a TIB portal. And from where the idea of creating this library. And that was originated because in 1957, that was occurred this very important event when the Soviet Union at the time launched a satellite. And this one was creating panic in many of the countries in the world. And because of that, Germany, the United States, but also Germany reacted in the way that they decided to create a library where everything that was related to science and technology could be investigated. And that was the idea to creating this huge library that we have with us, and where we started to have these unique collections of science and technology, unique in the world. And actually we have great literature that is including the reports of conferences and research reports for many, many, many years, and as well from many different countries. So it's very interesting to see all the physical literature that we have in TIB. But not only that, we evolved, and we evolved in the way that we were having digital services. And digital services require many of the things that you will be discussing in this conference. So we have the TIB portal that provides everything related to research literature. We have the AB portal that provides videos, and the videos are described using semantic models. Or we have everything that requires the licenses, or the services for long-term preservation, or open access to the literature, German literature, or also research data management, because our aim is to follow the FAIR principles, where we are aiming to provide data sets, everything that is required for performing these cycles of research. And for that, TIB won in 2020 the Library of the Year in the whole Germany. And that was a recognition that actually using these semantics and these digital services were actually not only contributing to the researches, but also to the concept of a library. And that's why we saw in the future. And in the future was, instead of thinking just to manage data or to manage the services that were required for helping or supporting researchers in science and technology, we saw that we needed to use knowledge. And knowledge in the way that these scientific contributions were not only processed by humans, but also by machines. And this is the principle that when we are using scientific literature and semantically describe using the semantic models, we were aiming. And for that, the Open Research Knowledge Graph, that you have several posters here, was devised by Rossenova, who unfortunately cannot be here today. And the idea was to link using these models of semantic models, linking data, linking visual artifacts, for example, videos, linking open access platforms, linking different type of research data management resources in the way that researchers could see TIB and all the services that we have in TIB as support for their research. And in that direction, now we are in the future. And in the future is how to use all these new AI tools, and of course together with everything that is coming from semantic models in order to support the scientists. And for that, TIB now is working in a new type of tools that are just contain, or they are composing what is called the TIB AI Assistant. And the TIB AI Assistant is just a framework that is going to support researchers in the whole cycle of publishing a paper. So in that sense, when the paper or the research problem is defined or devised, the research questions that go around, the analysis of the state of the art, the methods for evaluating these proposed solutions that we have, how this is going to be implemented, how it's going to be experimentally evaluated, and then probably helping the researchers in preparing the paper. And with that idea is that we have also the ORKG, and the ORKG is provides the foundations of these new type of tools that together with these new AI tools, as for example, large language models and semantic models, are making this a reality. With that said, I will invite all of you to visit TIB, either in our library that we have, the main building that we have in Belgian Garden, or that you visit our services. So in the website of TIB, you can find all the different services that we are providing, and of course, they can also provide the basics for just seeing how MediaWiki can contribute. And with this, I only wish all of you the best in this event, very well organized by the organizing committee. And well, enjoy Hanover, enjoy TIB, enjoy the talk of Professor Badati, and all the best, okay?
Thank you so much, Maria-Esther, for this wonderful introduction to the TIB. I feel like I always learn new stuff, even though I have worked here already 4 years. Always new things to learn about the TIB. Welcome, everyone. My name is Lozana Rossenova. I am working at the Open Science Lab, also in the TIB. I am the product manager for wiki-based services in OSL. And I'm very happy to be co-organizing this conference together with Tim and the wonderful team from the Semantic MediaWiki stakeholders group. Huge thanks to Bernhard Krobina, who is there in the back, because I think my introduction to this community has been through Bernhard. How this whole thing started, I was sitting with Tim and Kolja, one of our other colleagues, last year in Vienna in another wonderful edition of this conference, and we started talking how great it is actually that finally the communities of Wikibase users and stakeholders and Semantic MediaWiki are coming together through this conference. And now we are excited to host the next edition in the TIB and to have many more opportunities to exchange ideas with everyone here. You will notice there is quite a strong presence of TIB colleagues in the attendees, and we hope this will be of benefit to everyone. We are strongly represented from the Open Science Lab because we do develop a lot of tools and services there with MediaWiki software, and we are excited to present the program that will be unfolding over the next 2.5 days. As program chair, I just want to make a couple of small notes about the program. We attempted to organize the talks around thematic sessions, so there is usually, hopefully, some kind of an organic conversation that will be happening between the talks. We will really encourage everyone to stick to time, and if you check your slots for your presentations on the program, for example, you would be given 20 minutes within a longer session of an hour and a half. And within these 20 minutes, we hope that you can do your presentation and always leave 1 or 2 minutes in the end so that there's time for questions. Of course, there's plenty of time for questions after the sessions in the various breaks we have. We have left long breaks on purpose, but we will try to stick to time with the individual sessions, also to be nice to our online audience as well, who are tuning in perhaps sometimes for specific times. 2 other important things I want to say, and it was great that Maria-Esther ended with this invitation to visit the TAB. In the end of the conference on day 3, Thursday afternoon, we have social activities planned for you. And what would be really great is if you can also indicate actually which event you would be interested in, because some have maximum numbers. There is a dedicated page for that on the conference website and program, so you could indicate your name there, or you can come find me sometime during a coffee break and let me know. But essentially we'll have 2 tours available for guests of the conference. One tour would be visiting a very exciting architectural landmark in Hanover. So if you're into brutalist architecture, please do join us for that tour. That will be starting at 2 p.m. Alternatively, if you would like to learn more about this amazing history and collection of the TAB, we'll have a tour of the TAB archives and collections as well. So yeah, please, the tours have a limited capacity, so do let me know which tour you would be interested in joining. I hope everyone stays with us until the end of the conference, but if you have to leave early, enjoy the time that you have with us. And I think that's it from me. And if there's any other kind of local organizing things that need to be said? No? Okay, great.